Pen to Paper. I'm Leah Lindemann, author of the Canadian Reminiscence series. So last week was an AuthorTube video talking about how to get your books into libraries, but I am taking a little break this week because just a lot going on. Anyways, it is my booktube week and I am so excited to do a book tag. So I just want to first of all give a huge thank you to Sandy over at Miss Reads a Lot. She tagged me to do this, and I'm really excited to talk about the answers and just how books relate to my life in general. This is the Books in Life tag. Now, the original tag was done by Steve Donoghue, and I will put his video down in the description below, and also Sandy's from Miss Reads a Lot. You can check out her video tag as well. And please go follow her. She's super sweet, and she's doing a really neat thing where she's reading the 1001 books countdown, so you can find out more at her channel on that. Why don't we jump right into the questions? Let's check it out. I have them on my phone here. Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a normal person and 10 being the late Harold Bloom, how much are books and reading a part of your life? First of all, I didn't even know who Harold Bloom was, just like Sandy. So again, I looked him up just like Sandy, and he was basically an American literary critic and supposedly one of the world's finest English literary critics. He's written more than 50 books and one novel. 40 of them were literary critic books, and then a few on religion, and then, as I said, the one novel. So that's interesting. Before BookTube, I would say, or even just, before becoming friends with people on BookTube, I would say I was maybe a 6 or a 7. And then this year I decided I was going to hit 50 books in the year. And then I started my AuthorTube channel. And then I also got into booktubing, so now it's more like a 9. I actually am probably going to surpass my 50 books this year just because of the Olympic readathon that I did back in June and the indie readathon I'm doing this month. And also, I'm a writer. I write books. So 9, I'm going with 9 now. Books are a huge part of my life. However, I do have lots of other interests. I have a very healthy social life, and now that restrictions are lifting where I am, I can actually go out and be with friends. And I've got my kids. They take up a huge chunk of my life. But I adore books, and I am having so much fun with this channel and book tags that it's definitely bumped up the number to a 9. Okay. All right, next question. Where does your personal library stand right now in relation to the rest of your life? Do you have more books now than you ever have, fewer, and how has your library changed? So probably back when I was a teen, I had 2 kind of like IKEA bookshelves, and those were always full. And then maybe a box or 2 of books. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bookshelves all stocked, and if you can kind of, well, you can't see in the video, but like all of them are vertical, but then I have some horizontal ones on top of the vertical ones. And now I've got bags of books that are just waiting to be read in my basement below. And I got all those books actually from someone who found out that I loved books, and I believe her father was moving and downsizing, and he had tons of books to just give away, and I took a whole bunch of them. Why not? But now they're sitting with no shelves, so actually my husband is going to, he's a carpenter by the way, so he can do all this cool handy dandy stuff at home. He's going to build me a whole bookshelf that's going to encompass my whole room here. It's kind of like a living room slash computer room slash my office and kids' homeschool teaching room. So there you go. That's the plan, to at least give a little bit more shelving space to all the books waiting for me. But yes, it has grown over the years, and I am putting a chink into it slowly but surely. And hey, I have my whole lifetime to read, so as long as I don't, go and grab other people's books where they're downsizing and they're just like, hey, here's a bunch of books, take it all for free. Because if I find out about that, well, I'm coming to get you. Books, beautiful books that are waiting for me. Okay, number 3. Take a mental step back and ask yourself what is the most likely first bookish impression a newcomer would have in your home. So when you come into my home, you're coming straight into the kitchen, and then there's the bathroom a little bit beyond, nothing there, and then you turn right into, it's kind of a weird situation. It's a weird setup. It's like older than 100 years old, my home. Not that great. I mean, the outside is cool, but the inside is just such a weird setup. Anyways, to kind of forward left, you have the stairs going upstairs, and then you have backward, you have the TV room. If you go all the way to the right, then you'll see my beautiful executive desk with the kids' homeschooling desks, and then you have 4 bookshelves. So the bookshelves behind me with another one across. And there's a lot of books. So a lot of people do come into this room because that's basically the downstairs. And they say, wow, you've got a lot of books. And I'm like, yeah. And there's more upstairs. And there's a whole treasure trove downstairs in my basement. So once they actually come all the way in, then they realize that books are a huge part of my life. Okay, number 4. How often, if ever, do you clean or reorganize your books? So before kids getting into books, hardly ever, because, I arranged them the way I wanted to. And, I would dust the shelving in front, and then I wouldn't really do more than that. But now, because I have kids and they get onto my shelves and they pull down books, I mean, they're pretty good. The older ones, they've been trained not to do that, but I have a 2-year-old and she's still learning. So, but that's been the case with all of them. So when they're at that age, it happens quite often. Maybe at least once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, isn't really that bad, but still. But I do clean the shelvings often and when I dust, which is about once a week. So there you go. Okay. Number 5, on average, how many books do you acquire in a given week? So, on average, okay, I've been buying a lot, not buying a lot. You would think I have enough for a book haul. I don't have enough for a book haul. But I did buy recently, I bought Scratches by Joshua Marcella, which I read during the Olympic readathon. I also bought The Legend of the Amber Stone, a Persian fairy tale written by my friend Jonathan Butcher, and I'm reading that for the Indie Readathon, like paperbacks I'm talking about. I don't really buy Kindle unless it's coming out for free, or yeah, I much prefer paperbacks. What else? Oh, and then I did purchase Mr. Dickens and His Carol because I'm doing a buddy read with Linda from Linda's World of Books in August, I think. Yeah. So really, I don't purchase that many books, like on average a week. I don't do it once a week. So I don't know, less than one. It's not that many because, as I said, I have a huge library that I need to read. Or I'll get, if they're newer releases, I'll get them from my library. If I really love the series or I really love the book, then I'll buy it. But usually I'm just happy with ordering it from the library or just reading my own books. Okay, number 6. What song is your current earworm? Seriously, I'm drawing a blank right now. I don't have anything. Okay, let me check my Spotify list. Because, what was the last song I added to my favorites? That would be a good place to figure out, because my head is totally blank right now. Oh, okay. Well, actually, I was just thinking of this. Mm-hmm. So not really a song. Okay, sure, we'll go with a song. It's actually mostly the album. It's, well, I should say it's an EP. So it's a little less than an album. An album is usually like 10 to 12 songs, but an EP is more like 5 or 6. It's Selena Gomez's Revelacion EP, which is her first Latin Spanish album EP. And the one I'm listening to, or the one that I think of the most, is Baila Conmigo. So it's very reggae inspired, great Spanish beat. And the whole album's in Spanish, and I was really excited when she was putting that out to kind of listen to her work in Spanish. So that's cool. That's what I've been listening to a lot this summer. It works out really well. Okay, next question. 7. What percentage of your self control do you retain in a well stocked bookshop? I'm actually really good at not spending. If I tell myself, no, I'm not going to spend anything, then I won't. But usually in a bookshop, I'll let myself buy one. If it's a used bookshop, just depending on how the books are priced, sometimes I find they're really pricey, even for a used bookshop or kind of like a vintage bookshop. So it depends. If they're like $1, $2 each, well, then I might get three. If they're more pricey, like on the $10, $15 end, so almost, a little less than a new book, then I'll just get one. If it's a new bookstore like Kohl's or Chapters, that's what we have here in Canada, then I'll probably just get one or none. Just depends if there's anything that catches my eye or if I've actually gone in for a specific title. That's the case with newer bookstores. I'll go in for a specific title and I'll come out with only that, unless something else has really captured my attention. But other than that, my self control is pretty high. Okay. Do you ever feel the need to take a break from books? If so, what form does it take? So, not really. Okay, let me modify this answer a little bit. I'm always reading a book of some sort. So I usually do my reading at night before I go to bed. I like to have that hour without lights, cell phone, TV on. Just really helps me get in the mood and get ready for bed. So yeah, I do my reading at night, but during the day I have no time to read unless I am, right now I have a 5-month-old, so I breastfeed. So when I'm doing that, then I get to read on my Kindle because the other kids know that when I'm with the baby, it's mommy and baby time. And that's usually respected, except by the 2-year-old who really loves to be with the baby all the time, which is okay, but sometimes it's just nice to have that time with my baby alone, but I'm not going to hold it against her. So I get to read my Kindle then, which I'm doing a lot of this month because of the Indie Readathon, and I signed up for Kindle Unlimited just for this month, just so I can get in those titles. But yeah, now because I've been doing a readathon in June, and now I'm doing a readathon in July. Seriously, August, I'm gonna have to slow it down, like really slow it down, because last month I did 8. I'm planning to do 8 again this month. It's just a lot. And that's why I'm going to surpass my 50 books goal this year because of these readathons. But I love them. I love them so much, but I'm going to be burnt out if I don't take a break. So for the month of August, I'm only going to maybe read 2 or 3. That's it. And plus, I'm reading The Stand in August by Stephen King, and that book is really thick. And then I'm going to read Mr. Dickens and His Carol with Linda. And I might have room for one more, and that's it. That's all I can take. So August is going to be my main month off of like heavy, like a fast turnover rate of books. Yeah, that's not happening in August. It's going to be very minimal. When you meet a new person, how long does it take you to bring up books? That's question number 9. So it depends. With new people, there's just some people that you start talking to and the conversation flows really well and really easy, and you don't have to really find topics of conversation to bring up because everything's flowing really well and it's very organic. When I meet that type of person, then no, I don't bring up books. But if I meet someone who's a little bit more on the introverted side and I don't find we're clicking too well, then I might ask, "Oh, what kind of hobbies do you have, or what do you like to do in your spare time?" And if they're like, "Oh, I don't know, I've had that answer before," then I say, "Well, are you a reader? Do you like books?" And in that case, actually, a lot of the times they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I really love to read books," or "I like this genre." And I'll be like, "Yeah, me too, I love books." And then we can really connect on the books. So that's just kind of my backup when I meet new people. But I would say that happens about 30 to 40% of the time. The rest of the time, the conversation flows really well, or we have other interests that we both are interested in, or we know, or we jive really well because of a mutual connection or friend. Number 10, have you given any thought or made any provisions for your personal library after you croak, die? No, I haven't. I'm really hoping that my kids just keep my library. I mean, they don't have to keep everything because seriously, I've got textbooks of medicine waiting for me to get into them. Yeah, I know that sounds weird from a booktuber, but I actually wanted to be a doctor. Still might do that in the future. That's kind of the plan once my kids are older, and I might go back to school when I'm 40 or 45. But that's cool because I heard that people actually do that. So I'm keeping them for myself. But if they don't want to keep those, I totally understand. And I have a whole lot of other books. I'm just hoping that some of my kids become huge readers like myself. And yes, I would love for them to take them. But if not, whoever else loves reading can take my library and just enjoy it for themselves. Okay. And the last question is, are you known among your friends and loved ones for your weird and probably unhealthy relationship with books? Maybe weird, but I've never been given unhealthy relationship with books. A lot of my friends do like books, maybe not as much as I do, or maybe they don't read as much as I do and they're not writers. I have one other friend who is a writer. Well, I have a few writer friends now, more so with booktubing and authortube. But no, I wouldn't say that I'm ever poked fun of. I think it's because I am a writer myself. I mean, that's my part of my professional life, so that kind of negates any poking fun at me. Or they're all pretty supportive and they know this is what I love and what I love to do. So I don't think they've ever named it an unhealthy obsession or even weird. It's just something that I love and they totally accept that. But yeah, when people, that's something that people really know about me, is that I love books and I'm a writer and it's a huge part of my life. So that is my books and life tag with books. This was actually a really nice breather for this week because last week was just super overwhelming. And this week it was just nice to film a nice kind of easy video, book tag. So now I want to tag 3 other people. I've forgotten to tag other people in my other tags that I've done. I've only done 2, but I want to tag Kayla from Crack Into a Good Book, and I also want to tag Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books. And yes, and I want to also tag Lana from Lauren Lullabies. So please do the tags. I would love to hear your answers. And all of you watching, please go and see their channels, check out what they are all about. And if you like their content, then subscribe and support them, comment. It would be great. So why don't you comment with a book emoji that you've been here, that you've seen the tag, and feel free to share some of your answers if you want down below. I would love to hear them. And if I did not tag you and you have a booktube channel, then go ahead and do the tag and let me know so I can check out your answers. I hope this was a fun time and maybe it was running your mind on how much you love books and how they relate to your life. This is cool. Thanks again, Sandy, and all of you have a great week. Bye.